Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Wider from MassageChairRelief.com, and today we are visiting with Peter Ward, who is a customer of ours from our Southern California showroom, and we are going to talk about your experience. Peter, welcome, by the way, welcome to visit with me today. I appreciate it very much. We're going to talk a little bit about your experience getting a massage chair, owning a massage chair. We kind of talked a little bit beforehand to kind of get a vibe for what your experience with it is. And you got the Daiwa Supreme Hybrid. Maybe tell us a little bit about your journey that landed you at our store to get that particular model.
Sure. So let's think. So I've always enjoyed massages, right? So I've probably been getting massages for kind of athletic recovery for 20 years. I am, I'm a amateur, I'm a health nut, but I've done a lot of different, obsessions in terms of I was triathlete, run marathons. I play old man soccer, as my kids call it. I surf. I do a lot of, physical activity, particularly outside, is important part of my life. And I always kind of find when I'm really sore for overdoing it. If it's from snowboarding, if it's from, I've done a lot of surf, surf vacations where if you're out of shape and you're not used to surfing 4 hours a day, you always get a massage in between sessions. So I've had, massages of varying qualities all throughout my life. And when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'd always kind of tried out massage chairs and like lounge, and they have them in a lot of the lounges at, whatever the executive lounges at the airlines. And so I tried them a few times on layovers, and I'd always kind of thought, this is not as good as a real massage. I wasn't that interested in purchasing one. When the pandemic hit and it was kind of like no massage for a period of time, I was talking to my wife and we were like, we should, I think the technology has probably changed. We should take another look at it. And we also were we had been, the last few really good massages we had were traditional Shiatsu massages. And we were thinking if there was one, it's such a precise type of massage that we thought maybe that's something that if we look at a chair that specializes in Shiatsu, maybe it is closer to a real massage. So that was kind of where we at. I started doing some, just some reading of reviews. I was immediately brought to you through Google, and I was not like going to buy a massage chair and put it together myself. I was not going to buy a massage chair and be on my own for, making sure it worked. I knew that this was something that I wanted to have a reputable company. I wanted to actually talk to the person selling me the chair and have service and support. So I wasn't out there kind of looking for the lowest price. I was looking for someone who's knowledgeable about the air, about the space, and would support it and stand by the product. So that's kind of how I got to the point of coming to your store. And I think I talked to you on the phone a couple of times prior. Having done the research about your line, I was kind of just looking at what's known as the best Shiatsu chair. So I had a couple chairs in mind when I came into the store that, kind of marketed themselves as strong with Shiatsu technique. And I forget the name of the gentleman who runs the LA store, but he was patient, and he goes, yeah, why don't you try those ones out first? But I have a couple I want you to try as well, before you leave. So we had our baby, with us, who was fortunately being kind to us. She was sitting in the car seat, just chilling, but we knew we probably only had an hour on the store before she was going to get grumpy. So, we both kind of tried one of the two Shiatsu chairs. It was okay. It was all right. But again, I wasn't blown away. We each tried then the other one. So we both tried the two that we had researched prior. And that's when he said, why don't you try the Daiwa chair? It's quite a bit different than the ones that you've tried, which are almost like traditional, they're the ones that I'd seen in the airports for the most part. So that's a setup. If you want, I can go into what it was like when I tried Daiwa and how that was different than the other chairs we tried.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate that. There are different models, but the one you're talking about is a Daiwa Supreme Hybrid.
Correct.
Which has the new what I call split track technology. So now Shiatsu on a massage chair is, different companies couch it differently. You know, some
Yep.
say that rolling up the back is Shiatsu. Some say that digging in one place and moving to the next is Shiatsu, and that's probably more like Shiatsu. But
Yeah.
what was it about that model that kind of that
Well,
impressed you the most?
I think what's interesting is that you don't, sometimes you don't, what you come in thinking is going to be why you buy something is not always what you, once you try something. Trying is, I think you mentioned this to me before. You said, no matter how much research you do online, you got to try the chairs. And that's what, so I think, yes. So Shiatsu to me is pinpoint pressure. And it's usually pretty intense pressure it's usually used for me in kind of athletic deep tissue massage. But when we tried the Supreme Hybrid, I think it was more that there was stretching, that it was just an experience that just was unlike the other chairs. So I think when the stretching in the chair and the I think it was just the ability to do different type. It's like, to me, it's like in video we have dynamic range, high dynamic range is something where you basically and you have it in music too. You want to hear the quietest note, but you also want to say how much power does this have. And I felt like the other chairs, they're just kind of like, they either just give you all their power at one level, and it feels like this chair has so much in it. It can stretch, it's doing stuff at different levels, so that from a sensory perspective, it was just, I think that's what people are looking for. You're kind of saying, how does this feel like? And when a normal chair, it's like, wow, that's an intense pressure point in one part of my body. And sometimes it's not necessarily a pleasurable one. It can be, some of the chairs can be too much for people. But this chair, I feel like it's playing a lot of different, it's playing at different levels, and it's playing in a lot of different techniques. So it tends to just feel more like a authentic massage to me. And what it can go from relaxing. I mean, it can go quite intense, but it can also be very relaxing in a way that the other chairs just weren't giving me that same range, I guess.
We like to see people have a bit of a wow experience when they sit on the chairs, because we have so many models. We find sometimes with too many models, it can get awfully confusing for the user. But when you have that wow experience, that's a pretty good indication that you found a chair that's going to kind of fit the bill for you. It's nice. It's not like you've got 10 chairs that are generically similar, and okay, which body do I like better? Which color do I like better? We want you to have that experience, the wow experience of how it feels physiologically when you're in it. Now, before we began the recording, we were talking a little bit about, your headspace in terms of health. And you mentioned, and this is such a good point, you mentioned that you were not really looking for a chair to get rid of back pain or neck pain or headaches, which is what we typically advertise about massage chairs. Maybe talk a little bit about that, about what the kind of what it does for you health-wise, besides just removing pain.
Yeah, I mean, so just what I do to relax. First off, I think it's really important to relax, and the relief of stress is really important. And there's so many things that contribute to health, but I think the three most important things that contribute to health are getting exercise, eating right, and keeping your stress in a manageable level. And so I'm a nut about this stuff. I do, I exercise. I talked about before. It's an important part of my life, and I'm a nut about eating healthy, finding ways to reduce stress. Pandemic, very stressful with all the things that have changed during the pandemic. I had started a new job during the pandemic that had demanding hours, and I was finding I was doing calls very early in the morning and very late at night. And the only way I could kind of continue to function was with a siesta. And it's harder to just kind of say, I'm really tired. I need to get even 10 minutes of relaxation to recharge. And it's not the same to do other things that I do to relieve stress, like a yoga session or something like that, when you just don't have the energy to do a yoga session or other things, but you can't get your mind to quiet to take a nap. So that's where the thing that that I kind of was hoping that the chair would fulfill for me, and that has definitely been true, is that it's like, if you have the chair at home, you don't need to go schedule an hour massage. You don't need to drive 15 minutes each way. It's there. And, this one has settings for 10, 20, 30 minutes. If I only have 10 minutes, I got a half-hour break between meetings, I know I can look forward to just kind of saying, I'm going to put my AirPods in. I'm going to put on some really relaxing music. I'm going to close my eyes. I turn on a diffuser, and it's a complete recharge. So I think I have like an 80-90% nap record. So when I take a 10-minute break, I will fall asleep. And what they usually say is that if you fall asleep for even 7-8 minutes, that's enough to get yourself recharged and get
power nap.
It's a power nap, and it lets me go again. I can get another 4 or 5 hours of good work done after that. So that's been my big aha. I was hoping to get it, and it's definitely turned out to be a really good bonus for me.
Well, one thing I like that you said was the convenience of having a chair right there that you can hop into anytime and get bite-sized therapy moments. And I like that, because when you think of a massage, you think, okay, I got to do this for an hour or 50 minutes. I've got of course, the inconvenience of having to leave your home and drive and deal with traffic and whatnot. But you can just hop into this thing for 10, 15 minutes and take this power nap. But I love that bite size.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Yeah. I mean, that's the other kind of, and you talked to me about like, what did I have? Why was I in the market for a massage chair versus what are the most important things now that I have one that I like the most? And these have been kind of bonuses, in terms of how it fits, because I wasn't thinking that it was going to be something that I would do like just for 10 minutes to relax. If I have a late call at 9 o'clock, it used to take me a while to just get myself relaxed so that I was ready to fall asleep. And I knew I had to get up at 5 a.m. the next morning. So it's like I wanted to not be up until 11 midnight until I was ready to go to sleep. And this thing, I can do a 10-minute, 10-minute setting and find that I'm relaxed and kind of not thinking about the day's stuff that I have to do and ready to go to bed. So that those things have been the surprises.
When you sit in the chair, and of course, I don't know how much of the chair you've used, all the features you've used. Is there a particular feature that you really like, or something that about the chair that maybe surprised you, like, wow, this is good?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's funny is that it's I think there's 12 settings, auto settings, that are kind of, one's a deep tissue massage. There's ones that are kind of light stretching. And then there's one called refreshing nap, I think. And there's one called sleepy time or something like that, whatever it's called, dreamy time. So I think when I bought the chair, I thought, yeah, I'm going to use it the same way I use massage. It's like after a long surf session, after, a long run, to, do an athletic massage to kind of massage sore muscles. And it's been okay at that, but that's not the way the bonus is that I find it's, like I said, I'm using it. I don't necessarily use it on a 30-minute sessions. I'll use it 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, as it fits into the day, just as a quick recharge.
Is there anything about the chair that, now that you've experienced it and you know what the chair has got, is there anything you wish was different about that chair? Anything that you thought, man, if this chair had this one thing, have you had that experience at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it can get better. I think that the padding, we use the padding based on how intense you want it to be. So if you really want an intense athletic massage, take the padding out. Sometimes it can be too much. Just the nature of it. It's not so precise that it's hitting you exactly the same way. Sometimes I'm maybe not using it right after the scan. I changed my position. So, I think sometimes it's it's not Goldilocks. It's either two, I'm looking for it exactly at a certain intensity, and I'm not getting exactly the intensity that I want from it, which I think is something to work on. I really like what I think they can build on is the stretching is something that I think is, unlike anything I had tried before. So I think that the kinds of, so when it does stretch you, it's getting at muscles in a way that you can't, I think also prepare the muscle for the massage in a way that when you're just kind of laying prone, it doesn't work as well. So I think that more development on how those kind of stretching positions work. Right now, it's kind of probably only 10% of most of the programs use massage during, a stretched position.
Yeah.
But that I think is something that is relatively new and they probably can build on. But, the only other thing I can think of is just, I don't think it's practical in the concept of a chair, but I know that they're starting to say, why do we have to say the act of massaging and the thing that you sit in have to go together? I've seen there are ones that the concept of massaging is now, I think, going to a table. I've seen at CES, there's a robotic massage table now, which I think enables you to lay both on your front and your back. So I'm sure there's going to be things like that as well, because it's like, who really uses a massage chair as a chair? It's to massage. So I think that the design of a chair is probably limiting in the, in what makes a good massage. So the table is generally probably a better thing to use to get a good massage. I bet there's probably going to be some development in that area. And I think in general, I don't think of it as a chair. I think of it as a way to get a massage. And I think just the limiting of sitting is it limits the ability to hit certain muscles certain ways. So that would be my only, in 2030 or 2040, I bet we have robotic massage tables pretty standard.
Yeah. And I think this AI business is going to come into play where there'll be really deep or sophisticated feedback mechanisms that will change as you sit in the chair and accommodate you or what you want. So for anyone that's looking for a chair, what sort of advice would you give based on your experience with it? What sort of advice would you give?
I think you gotta go try them out. You gotta think about, I think you want to think about what, is it replacing a massage, a traditional massage, or can it, to me, is like, this was not only replacing a traditional massage, it was replacing kind of techniques of relaxation and stress reduction. And so it's like, it's not just, so I think you have to say, what is, for me, it wasn't about relieving pain. Some people, it's about trying to relieve pain. For me, it was about trying to, manage stress and provide, kind of a recharge and a relaxation in a way that could become habitual and could fit into a pretty busy schedule.
So it's kind of something that you use to pretty much enhance an already healthy lifestyle.
Right.
There's no end game here where it's like, oh, okay, I got rid of my pain, and so I guess I'll just sit in it for enjoyment. It's become really a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think that's the way I look at, in general. I think your enjoyment of life, you want to prolong your ability to enjoy everything that you enjoy about life as long as you can through good health. And that's where, again, I go back to those three things that you can control, that are really easy to do. And that is just, you want to get enough exercise, you want to eat right, and you want to be able to manage your stress, in effective ways. And that kind of stress management piece is the thing that, meditation, mindfulness, there's a lot of, you can go to the app store and you can find 10 different apps that are really around, doing that. And I think a lot of people have trouble. What do I do now? I've got this app and I'm supposed to be focused and it's supposed to be relaxing me, but I'm all stressed. I'm still thinking about everything I'm doing. And I think this is almost an easier way in to that, because the brain is normally, if you're not distracting your brain from all the things that you're worried about, your brain's just going to go in overdrive thinking about all the things you have to do and all the things that contribute to stress. but generally the same idea of mindfulness is think about your breath. Don't think about anything but your breath. And I think in the massage chair, you're thinking about, you're thinking about a nice thing. I'm thinking about how my neck is being massaged and how relaxing that feels. I'm thinking about, things that take your mind off of the stress. And so it's the same technique. It's just in a way that's a little easier, I think, probably for people to, it's kind of a gateway drug to probably deeper forms of meditation and mindfulness, but it's a real easy thing to say, hey, that's why people love massages. It relaxes you for a reason. You're thinking about how good the massage feels and not about all the things that are stressful in your life.
Right. It's a therapeutic distraction.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, this has been fantastic, Peter. I really appreciate your time. I hope we haven't taken too much of it, but
no.
This is great advice and good information on your experience with that chair. But thank you so much for taking time to visit with me today, man. It was good to have you.
Thank you, Alan. All right. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And we'll hopefully have this video up for you in the next 24, 48 hours. And, I don't like watching myself in the videos, but
I will never watch it. I will guarantee you. Unless someone watches it and teases me about it, I will never watch it.
Dude, we saw you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I very much appreciate your time. I know it's precious. So thanks, Peter. Good to visit with you.
Appreciate it, Alan. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.